Sorry I'm late. I think I enjoyed that shower a little too much, if you know what I mean. Thank you for your patience. How is everyone? As you can see, I have changed up the chair because the other chair has so much stuff that was making me cough. I decided that maybe switching up the chair would be a little bit helpful. Hello, Anne Pilion. Did you miss me? Did you miss the oracle? I mean, come on now. This is a better angle, right? Is this not a better angle? The other one, I was too low. Hi, Marjorie Harrison. Hi, Melody Harmon. Joel Tilson. Lovely to see you. Northwest corner of Rockford, Missouri, next to the Ohio border. That's where you are right now? Fantastic. Should probably get a tissue paper. So, Mila, are you upset because you don't get to sit? You don't get to sit on this chair, but the problem is, sweetie, I got to clean that chair because it's got your dander all over it. Anyway, good to see people. What do you think? Come down a little further? There we go. How do you like the hat? I was walking home from my dental appointment and I saw these all over the ground. And I was walking, excuse me, I was going to walk past. And then I thought, no, I'm not going to leave those. So I went and picked them up, put them in water. Now I have some free flowers. Grab my water. All right, so I am Whimsy, and we are here to play. This is our happy hour, 4 to 5, 5:30, give or take. Tell me what you're eating. Tell me what you're drinking. Be kind to all so that all can be kind to you. Let the games begin. We will blitz away. Feel free to get those questions organized. Before we do that, we're going to do a little bit of remote viewing. I want to turn the camera over to you. Tell us what you're eating, what you're drinking. I'll get you started. I'm here in beautiful, downtown Portland, Oregon. The greatest city that ever was. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And I'm having a lovely coffee, which was purchased by my benefactor, 1111. I'm having a lovely time. Yes, and my food tonight, Thai food. Yes, Prigozhin left Belarus because there's a reason why. He was questioned by the FSB. There's a couple things that were going on. He's also requesting to leave Russia, Belarus to travel, but there's a whole other. So, what you eating, what you drinking, what's your story? Tell me all about yourself. Rose Blue. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene got booed. Debbie Brady is in the house. Give a shout out to our creative director and the marketing person. All the beautiful, beautiful merch you see was divined by the incredible Debbie Brady. And you should see the mental states she has to talk me down from. So much gratitude to you, Debbie. She is a soldier for good, as we say. Thank you. Hourglass Tarot, hello, welcome. Lisa, yes, Prigozhin. We will talk about it. Christine Brooks, thank you for your membership. Hi, Annie Hamlet. 1111 here, my benefactor. Always great to see him. Rhonda Shank, hello. Joel Tilson, we unofficially call him our floor director. He is kind enough to capitalize and help me read the questions. He'll be walking the virtual floor So please reach out to him if you need anything. He's been very kind and helpful. We appreciate him very much here. Debbie M., thank you for your membership. You're in beautiful Missouri. Missouri in the spring. Could there be any place more beautiful? But the pollen in Missouri makes you miserable. But don't let it fool you. The most beautiful part of the world in the spring is Missouri. Hi, Rhonda Shank. Great to see you. Hi, Debbie M. Great to see you. Beautiful Astoria, New York. Couldn't get started without Claudia Varias. Great to see you here. All right, so let's get started on a couple quick remotes, and then we'll blitz away. Sound good? Melody Harmon's just having some ice water. Very nice. Meatloaf and mashed white potatoes, Maria. I ordered Thai food last night, and I didn't really have much of an appetite. So my meal was, I ordered tom kha ka soup, the beef salad. I know I'm back to eating meat. Please don't hate me. Shrimp wraps, shrimp vegetable wraps, and an extra side of rice. So I nibbled last night at the salad and then said, you know what, I'm not hungry. And put everything in the refrigerator. Then today I had some more of the salad. Meanwhile, 2/3 of the salad is still left. They should see how much food they gave me. I haven't even started the tom kha ka yet. It cooled and I put it in the refrigerator. I haven't even tried it. Not a big appetite lately. I think it's the heat. To be honest with you, I've been snacking a lot on fruit. Have y'all been doing this? Okay, now my cough is gone. When I get out of a shower, I don't know. All right, so Prigozhin. It looks like Prigozhin left Belarus. Based on what I could figure out, he is requesting a visa to leave, and he has to take care of his legal papers, and that's why he had to return back to Russia. Not very dramatic. So if he and his family, so it was a very brief conversation, energetically, and basically he has to sort out his documents for himself and his family. So if he's being told that he no longer is welcomed in Russia, but he still has to return to St. Petersburg to work out his documents, so visa travel, etc. Now, we're talking about a 5-10 second me in and out on Prigozhin. So, but then afterwards, I was in the shower. You ever do remote viewings in showers? Who here has done a remote viewing inside of a shower? There's like 400 remote viewers watching right now. So, well, not 400, but there's a lot of you that are remote viewers. You get into a really meditative state. Maybe you've been doing remote viewing for a while, but so I went in and he was saying something about how he had to get his papers and documents. And so he had to come back to St. Petersburg because of documents. And he was also questioned by the FSB regarding money, etc. So if they're denying him the right to travel on Russian ID, if he can't use his Russian passport, if he can't use his Russian ID to get any visas or anything like that to travel, then he's screwed. He doesn't want to live in Belarus, right? So my head is going in a couple different directions. Where do you think my head's going? I want to know what country gave him, who's taking him. You see where my head's going to go? If he says to me, well, I'm in St. Petersburg because I have a lot of documentation problems. Weren't you born in Russia? Why would you have documentation problems? They put a hold on your travel because you're under criminal investigation. You can't leave. You can go to Belarus. You can't leave, etc. So he went to ask them. I think it could be a Middle Eastern country. Who knows? Somebody's willing to take this guy. And he seemed to be suggesting that he was going to be moving his family there. So we have a situation of a guy who's in trouble, but he feels confident enough to go to St. Petersburg to request that the holds on passports for him and his family be taken down so that he can leave Russia. That's basically what I deduced. According to eyewitnesses, he was given back his guns. So at this time, the FSB is not stripping him of his weapons. But based on the questioning, they wanted to know about his communications. So because he was there requesting documentation for he and his family to travel, that would be standard, I would think, that they would put a hold on his travel in case he's going to be charged. Yeah, so that's all I can tell you at this time, but we can certainly do a blitz on it. Does anybody know anything about the writers' strike in Los Angeles? Time for a little celebrity gossip. Ready to talk Hollywood? And we can go back to the Prigozhin thing. This is the Thursday show. Y'all don't have to stay in the politics. Don't you guys understand each day of the week is a different theme? You're treating this like the Sunday show. You're not supposed to take any. This is the Thursday show. You're supposed to break out the tequila and sing I Did It My Way in B flat. You know, this is the Thursday. This is the I can't stand it. I can't take another day at the office Thursday. Anyway, so I thought we could do a little bit about the future or lack thereof. Oh, Joel, why did you beat me to it? The actors are thinking about joining the strike. How much time did I give Hollywood when I was living there? I made a remote view prediction. My timelines, I've gone back and checked. I'm about 75, 80. I'm pretty good on my timelines, actually. I said that Hollywood would be dead in what, 5 to 10 years? Did I say 5 years? I think I said 10 years, right? That was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I said that Hollywood would be belly up in 10 years. So that's the conversation we get to have. Why is Hollywood going bankrupted? What did Hollywood do wrong? Why is this happening? Why don't actors want to go to Hollywood anymore? When I was a kid, everybody wanted to go to Hollywood. You can take your SAG-AFTRA card, right, and shove it. I ain't working here no more, right? We got Taft-Hartley. I got Taft-Hartley. I was SAG-AFTRA. They're still my credit union, by the way. That's going to change. I probably shouldn't keep the SAG-AFTRA credit union. I think they kind of resent me. Why are you still here? You're no longer in the union, right? Well, if the union had actually done something to protect actors, maybe we would stick around. The last straw for me, maybe Amber Heard, was probably when they got so low, they started hiring Russian propaganda people to bury their stories, right? So what's happening in Hollywood is really that we are witnessing the death of a monarchy. This is something else I've talked about, that Hollywood is a monarchy, and you have all these wannabe kings and queens, the producers, the executive producers. God bless them, Leonardo DiCaprio and his mega mansion and his throne that he sits on, along with Johnny Depp, who also has a nice throne and gets to live like that, worth $500 million, private yachts, mega yachts, etc. Harvey Weinstein, friend of his. It goes back a lot to what we had talked about democracy and this fear that that unbridled power that could not be checked was the one thing that the founding mothers and fathers feared the most. And if you go back to the writings between John Adams and his wife, who very much, contrary to what people want to believe, was instrumental in helping to form what would become our Constitution. It was the mothers and the fathers, so let's not forget that. But what they spoke a lot about was this idea of the power struggle, right? The struggle of the common person to simply live their life without being terrorized, right? The fear of unbridled power. And so what we see in Hollywood is we see the death of basically the 48 laws of power, right? The 48 laws of power was all about what Robert Greene saw by working with producers. So now what's coming out is just the large amount of famous actors, people that you and I love and we respect their work, that have been sexually abused, physically abused, threatened, terrorized, drugged, etc., that couldn't come forward, that were being gagged. And we're not talking about like nobodies. We're talking about the best and the brightest of their community. So it begs the question, does Hollywood care about the mental health of their talent? This is actually a conversation that Debbie and Brady and I have talked about, because she does talent management, right? So she helps people in the YouTube community. And one of the things we always have to be mindful of is the mental health of the talent, whether it's on YouTube or it's in film or wherever you choose to express yourself as an entertainer. And that's basically where Hollywood went wrong, is they stopped caring about the actors. They stopped caring about the entertainers. And instead, it became this kind of really disgusting, exploitive situation where wonderful people, many of them talented actors, who really just so badly wanted to act because that was their gift, and were abused terribly. So what did I feel was going to save Hollywood? Well, for starters, you need to do away with all your mega mansions. The only reason that a mega mansion should exist in Hollywood is as a museum to what once was. You can all get condos. And specifically, I would call out Leonardo DiCaprio. He put out a film which was called The Last Shaman. And I want to say, as somebody who knows a little bit about the subject, I personally found it very offensive. Where he was attacking indigenous people in Peru for charging for the teachings because their children are starving. They're living in poverty that was placed upon them by colonization. And they don't need some holier than thou guy living in a mega mansion in Hollywood telling them that they're no longer really shamans. Here's a great idea for Leonardo DiCaprio if he should get this message. Why don't you sell that mega mansion? And by the way, I've had two friends go to one of your parties and you creeped them out and they left early. Sell the mega mansion, and then you can build the educational programs in these poor indigenous communities in Peru, and then you won't have to worry about the death of shamanism in South America. How's that for an idea, Leonardo? Because you can get rid of the throne, you can get rid of that mega mansion. Because let's face facts, you're just an actor, and quite frankly, in my opinion, you're kind of mediocre. All right, so got it off my chest. Been wanting to say that for a while, but that's what killed Hollywood. That will be the death of Hollywood, and I think it's great. I think that YouTube is much more egalitarian, and if you are an entertainer, if you're an actor, if you're a performer, if you're a performance artist, and you want to have fun, and you're doing this to make the world a better place. Yes, the t-shirts, like the artist Debbie said, talk about the t-shirts. Like Debbie designing our merch. Find safe ways to be an actor. Find safe ways to be an entertainer. Develop your own theater groups and start performing on YouTube. Start your own production companies. You don't need any money. You just need passion. $0 to create the Oracle of Whimsy. And we've raised, at this point, several $1 million for charity. This has become not only a fun project for me, but I'm able to be a philanthropist, which was a big dream for me. So don't limit yourself by the box that sick people put you in, right? If you're an entertainer. And that will be the death of Hollywood. So I give them another 5 years. Doesn't surprise me that the writers are striking. Sure, actors join in, and I got your back. I was a doctor in Hollywood for what, 12 years? How many years was I? Every freaking, and I'm talking about the best and brightest, the people that you would be honored to have a cup of coffee with, the best actors, Academy Award winning act. I've been privileged to meet some remarkable people. Every one of them has been abused. Every one of them has a horror, at least one horror story, male and female. That's why Hollywood is dead. But those mega mansions and the way that people are getting exploited financially, and people showing off their Rolexes and their cars. When you go to get a smoothie in Santa Monica, the only thing that you are telling me by presenting yourself in this way is that you are an inherently narcissistic, selfish person that talks but doesn't like to share. So humble yourself and save your community, because if you don't, you got another 5 years. That's my remote. Opinions. I was told to take the leash off by Debbie. Blame her. She said, you know, Whimsy, I think you're a little too cautious. People just want you to be real. Okay, yeah, I don't need SAG. That's what you need to tell yourself. I don't need the Screen Actors Guild, and I can't afford the dues anyway. That should be your mantra as an actor. I don't need the Screen Actors Guild, and I can't afford the dues anyway. There you go. That's your new mantra. YouTube is free. All right. I've been wanting to cuss Leonardo DiCaprio out. My two friends went to a party there. I have a lot of friends who are models. Way back when I used to do a little modeling. And one of the things I worry about is the mental health of models, right? So young models, I get a little protective, right? I've been there, kid. I was there 30, 40 years ago, right? And they told me some strange stories that had me deeply concerned. And so, yeah, Hollywood's got issues. That's all. All right. We are going to blitz away when we get the order. I think that's all the remotes I have for you. Yeah, so Prigozhin is trying to leave, and there's a hold on his exit visas, and he and his family can't leave. Zaporizhzhia, for the time being, is safe. That was another remote. People were worried that he was going to do a July 4th, 5th, because U.S. intelligence, Ukrainian intelligence said that he was possibly going to plan something. There was also some evidence that maybe special forces might go in. It's been diffused. And from what I understand, a lot of Russians have left. So that's good news. Last thing I wanted to say is that our book of the month by Ellen Archer, How to Save the World and Be Clean and Sober, the Cave Woman Way. I'm reading it, and man, this book is so damn good. Oh my God, you guys, have you read it yet? Have you started reading it? Where's the book? I've been sleeping with it. I've been dusting. I put the book down. Have you guys started the book of the month? We have a book of the month club, and we get together after Taco Tuesdays here live, 6 p.m. on the 25th of July. We'll be talking about the book. Have you guys started it yet? It's really good. A woman goes, she's leaving her town. She's moving on. She's an alcoholic. She's struggling with addiction, and she goes on a bender. She wakes up. She has a notebook, and she finds a message, and the message says, "I can help," in small letters. And she doesn't remember writing it. Who the hell wrote this? And then she's like, "Who are you?" And then she decides to see what would happen if she takes her left hand to see what happens. And she starts automatic handwriting, and she starts communicating with a being that's living in another time period. And it's a cave woman. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Okay, let's do the Empaths Prayer. Yeah, so we'll be discussing the book on the 25th. Please join us. China said it was the last straw, Joel. Remember when China had said that that would be the So I hear what you're saying. So what Joel is saying is that in the negotiations with China, they had said that that was like a line that they were not going to, they would no longer be an ally, basically. Thank you for mentioning that, Joel. So it may have caused Russia to back down. All right, let's do the Empaths Prayer. All right, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with, like Leonardo DiCaprio. And together we say, Amen. Yeah, I don't like hypocrisy. I don't like somebody living in a mega mansion who can, is a billionaire talking about what other people's choices are that can barely afford air because they've been exploited by colonization. So nothing's going to push my buttons more than that, right? Okay. Let's see what the questions are. Joanna Carson, we're going to start with you. Okay, can you comment on the undercurrent of agitating energy running through collective? Over the past few days, empaths and readers on YT have pointed it out. I've been feeling really threatened. I've been feeling like and angry. And I think that it's one organism, it's one mind. This is something that we talk about in heart-centered remote viewing. It's one brain. And so we are a hive mind. This is something that Ellen Archer talks about in her book, How to Save the World, how to and be clean and sober, the cave woman way. This idea that indigenous peoples, they were almost telepathic. They moved together as a hive. Everybody was in each other's head. They could breathe for each other like Siamese twins. We've lost that. Maybe because of agriculture, maybe because we created kings and we fought over land and we got gaslit and we've lost our way and we forgot our own voice, which is what HCRV is about, right? We're trying to give you back your voice. You can remember yourself. You can hear your own voice. So I think a lot of people were feeling that tension, that we were about this close to a nuclear disaster, and maybe it was having a reverberating effect. What do you think? Let's take a look. Could that be a possibility, do you think, Joanna, that maybe people were just picking up on the tension? Because I'm sure our intelligence was concerned. I'm sure the Ukrainian people, lots of people, millions of people were afraid. So you have to think, what is that doing to the hive mind? How is the hive doing? Not so good, right? The world is in a state of grief right now. Much destruction. It's beginning to take a toll on the whole collective. We are in a state of grief. We are gazing at that which we have lost. We see destruction everywhere. We fear that our dreams will never come true. We fear that we are unworthy of our dreams coming true. In plain words, what they're saying is that we must show ourselves grace because we are destroying our world because we don't think we are worthy of it. It's a very deep idea. My cough has gone down a lot. And I think that the reason we're not getting a lot of the smoke, but I have the air filter going 24/7, and that's what took most of my cough. I still have it a little bit, like after a shower, I cough a little bit, but I'd say 90% better with air filter. We have to help one another. We have to help one another. That's the way out. We have to just be kind to all so that all can be kind to us. Six of Pentacles is to show grace. We have a star over the world. You know, when I look at Prigozhin and I look at Putin, Prigozhin is looking at Putin and it's like, man, you are really a freaking mess right now. You are. I think you are too far gone, my friend. That's what I hear myself saying as Prigozhin. You are a mess. It feels to me almost like my friend is a heroin addict. It has that feel like, I tried to help you. I tried to help you with your little problem. I felt sorry for you, so I gave you the cleanest heroin I could purchase. But your addiction has taken a complete hold on you, and you're gone, my friend. That is almost how it feels to be Prigozhin. Now, is that an abusive game from a psychopath? Or is he on to something? Does he know something about Putin that we don't, about some vulnerability that has taken Putin down, a possible drug problem or something else? It's as if he knows something devastating about Putin, some private little thing that Putin trusted him with, that if he opened his mouth would destroy Putin. It feels like it has almost the same forbiddenness as someone who needs you to shoot them up. Like, hey, Prigozhin, my little secret, right? Okay, I can get you some clean stuff. We're going to control your little problem. Nobody will ever find out. You can trust me to take care of your problem. But, buddy, it has that. So something that Prigozhin did for Putin that he's ashamed of, and it's slowly deteriorating the mental and physical health of Putin, and it's his shame and it's his secret, and Prigozhin knows about it. That's all I can find. I do feel HCRV is by permission. We kind of have to honor the rules, but something's going on of that nature. So in terms of just the overall energy, I think we're just all feeling it, Joanne. Yeah. The Supreme Court is another one, one of the things they were talking about in the Enforcer is how international, including the Italians have confiscated $2.5 billion of Russian assets, mega yachts, etc., which they plan on auctioning off and giving to Ukraine, right? So we have all these mega yachts. We have Interpol going in and seizing the electronics to try and seize all of the... I'm just curious to see how closely you've been paying attention. When they went in and seized the electronics on the guy in Florida, what specifically... the mega yacht of the guy in Florida, what do you think specifically they were looking for on the servers? I'm just curious. Hi, Tawny. Oh my God, Holly W., I love you. That's right. Dang, you guys. Oh, I'm so proud of you guys. Yes, that's very good. Classified documents too. Very good. Dang, you people have... sometimes I feel like I'm just talking to the wind. Yeah, they took the guy's boat. They took his boat. Yeah. So they're going to seize the electronics, right? What do you think they're going to find? Any particular names we're going to be looking for? Who in Florida is bribed? How bad is it? Pretty bad, right? Epstein got to go home every night or something. The door was open, he could leave the jail cell. He would sit in there an hour or two and see, I'm in jail. What did Acosta say when we got into the remote on Acosta? He said, I was just doing what the judge told me to do, right? What happened to Acosta? We did the cards. We said Acosta has no future. He had no future. Yeah, they're going to find the accounts for people who've been compromised, who were laundering money for the mob, and who were part of the whole trafficking, human trafficking, drug trafficking. It's been part of the triangular trade for centuries, and they're not going to stop. And a lot of the islands is where human trafficking is taking place, right? The Cayman Islands, where a lot of blue movies are being made, right? Because they know that if you've got that kind of money, there are places that they can go where Interpol can't get them. So we're just going to go shoot our films and continue to engage in human trafficking in areas we know that you can't get protected by our mega yachts, hanging out in Blossom Village in the Cayman Islands. They've had 4 major arrests. I did the remote and then I went down and did the research, right? Went down and did the remote and then they've had 4 major arrests of pedophile rings in the Cayman Islands. One in 210, one in I was talking to 1111 about it because I was having a meltdown over it. But 2010, 2012, had a major thing happen in like 2017 and again in 2019. They arrest a couple people and then they go back into business. That's where they make their money. So if they're making their money off of human trafficking, then they've got to wash the money. So they're giving it to businesses for people who are short of a little business. I'm not totally okay with any of this because I know what the New York field office did. And I know that the New York field office is responsible for stealing the 2016 election. So, good on the feds that they're finally confiscating electronics from the people that are, trafficking kids and everything else. But you can't help but wonder just how many people in the federal government have taken bribes. If we just know of one person from the New York field office that was arrested for taking, $250,000, evidently from, who was it, Giuliani's offices? I don't, and I Comey saying, oh, well, the FBI is non-biased and we are this and we are so pure and we are the FBI, when we all know that it's the FBI that put us in this situation. I've been calling for hearings for how many years now? How many years now have we been saying in our community, not just me, TYT, other people, that we want hearings? We want you to explain to us why people in the New York field office are being arrested and why this is starting to look like they were bribed and that they weaponized the New York FBI in order to steal an election. And if that's what happened, why is it a comedy show with some lady named Whimsy that has to out you because you don't have balls over at the New York Times? And so I have to break the story 3 weeks early because you people don't have the courage to run the story. That's what it's starting to look like. And I have a problem with that. That's not playing fair. All right, Holly W. Anybody have a problem with anything I've said? Let's discuss it. Holly W., can you read on DeSantis and why he sounds so angry all the time? Because he's, I don't know, maybe not all there. I'm sorry. Why is DeSantis? Because he's losing? Okay. That's another one that doesn't want to share where his money's coming from, right? We know where his money's coming from. It's coming from the same place. It's dirty money overseas, washed money. People are leaving his campaign. They were initially optimistic, but they're not optimistic anymore. He has a sober realization that his campaign's not doing well. His campaign director just left or something like that. He lost members of his campaign. Didn't he have a switchover of his campaign director? Something switched out. He's also afraid of legal action being taken against him by Homeland Security, because I know that they opened up a criminal investigation, because when I went into the DOJ, they told me they had referred it back to Homeland to see if he would be charged. Here's the feds. He still could face some type of charges. He has a new beginning starting, building a new life. Hopes and fears, final outcome, a celebration over the feds. I don't think he has much of a career future, because they're saying it's imploding, his campaign, and that people are leaving. I guess his campaign people left. He raised a lot of money, but they didn't. They had mismanagement, and Maine people left. He's afraid of justice. The Lady Justice is over him. Also, the feds are over him, and the feds are celebrating as his opposition. That's not a good sign for him. I feel like there could be some. I feel like there could be some legal action with that queen. See, Queen of Swords is the courts. She rules the courts, the Queen of Swords. So, I don't know. He could be facing something pretty serious. Yeah, I think it's because of what he did with those immigrants. Yeah. Okay. I was looking at something and it bounced. Sometimes I'll be looking at something and it'll fly, like, I'm like, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Kathleen O'Malley says she feels betrayed by SCOTUS. Well, what freaks me out is these incandescent meetings. It makes me physically sick. Because I don't know if we have any way to combat it. Like, how it's not even happening in the United States, these meetings. And so I guess my question to you is, how do we combat this? Have we been in denial about whether or not we even have a democracy at this point? I don't know. I mean, it's pretty disturbing, some of the stuff that's been coming out. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. But all right. Missing monies and human trafficking awaits DeSantis and others. There have been questions about some private flights he took and who were the benefactors that paid for those flights, Joel. And it goes back again to what we got from the Mueller when we went into Mueller, what the investigation was. And I think it does give us some perspective, doesn't it, about Donald Trump, that if you're thinking that the investigation is Donald Trump, then you don't know this investigation. Right. So we can step back and see international waters and bribes and foreign bank accounts and the Cayman Islands and people being paid to look the other way when trafficking is going on, et cetera, et cetera. And so when you look at it from that perspective, hopefully we can understand that Trump is a very important person, obviously, because of who, he was our 44th president, but it speaks to a problem that is far greater than than Donald Trump. And if we end the investigation there, then that's kind of it's so much worse than that, I guess is what I'm saying. It's so much worse than that. Yeah. Okay, Tuppy Joe. Even worse than I thought when I gave that remote 4 years ago. It's 10 times worse than I thought it was. Is Clarence and Ginny going on another luxury? Oh, God. Oh, my God. They said they do it every year right before the docket comes out. What a coincidence. Oh, I can't. I think I can hear the sound of people banging their heads on walls. Yes. Yeah, they do it every year. They go to international waters where they won't be disturbed because they like to do that. It's just something that they do. And then they go to a remote island off Jakarta. Mm-hmm. They do it every year. Right before the docket comes up. What's on the docket? Do you have a problem with me deciding your rights? I think my logic is perfect, right? That's Harlan Crow. Who better than to be the ruler of America than me? Your faceless leader. With a bunch of other faceless leaders who like to hang out at the Cayman Islands, which happens to be a hot spot for human trafficking. And it keeps opening up, and they keep busting them, and they keep reopening because they bribe people, right? A pattern is forming. There's a lot of strife around him, believe it or not. He's got the conflict card. Regarding his partnerships and infidelity in partnerships. So it would be, are you loyal to the Constitution? Who are you loyal to? Aren't you supposed to be constitutional scholars? Where does it say? In the Constitution, we, the people of the United States, are ordering people that we don't know to go on mega yachts in remote areas? I mean, I'm having a rough time with this whole conflict regarding his partnerships overseas, over the water too, importing and exporting, lovers, infidelity, clandestine meetings, cheating with a partner leads to conflict. Who's going to show up as a result of this? Feds. If money was transferred, if the guy goes on a mega yacht and he has a meeting in international waters so that nobody's privy to these private little meetings, and this guy's giving him money, how is that not a bribe? How is this not exactly what Mueller said was? How is this any different? You see what I'm talking about? About the 10 of Pentacles? This is what I'm talking about with the 10 of Pentacles. Don't assume that a legacy is always good. 10 of Pentacles can be family secrets, dirty little family secrets. Dirty little family secrets and conflict. Who's this family? The family. We got a little family going on. We got a little party going on. Partnerships. Look at this. Partnerships that he traveled with. The Knight of Wands, the travel card. He went traveling. Oh my God. This is just so bad, you guys. They're being scrutinized. I think the feds are looking into it. Does it constitute a bribe? And if it constitutes a bribe, is that illegal? And why isn't he? Is this legal? I guess that's my question to the lawyers. We have 750 people here. I'm sure there's a lawyer. Is this legal? What? I'm going to pin what Joel said. Scalia told Thomas to go ahead and take trips with Crow. Do we have a problem with the courts? Discuss. What's the problem with our courts? I don't understand why you can't have a vacation and talk about the docket in a Walmart parking lot, which is where you said you wanted to go on vacation. A private island off the coast of Jakarta is pretty far away from the local Walmart parking lot. Guy must have gotten lost. I'm the kind of person that would get lost in the Walmart parking lot, but I don't think I would wind up in a remote island off the coast of Jakarta, floating around in international waters, meeting with God knows who. Just saying. I don't even think they got Walmarts off this island in Jakarta. Maybe they do. I don't know. All right, let's go ahead. How are we doing on time? You love my sarcasm. Okay, you guys want to do one more question, and then I got to take off. I got a client. Melissa, beautiful Melissa. All right. To what extent, how much did the Democrats understand the depth and breadth of this corruption? You tell me. You're Democrats mostly. We have some Republicans here because we welcome everybody. I mean, we can agree to disagree. I mean, I remote viewed it, and even I'm shocked, right? So this is probably 100 times worse than I thought it was. I thought it was one or two people. I didn't think it was massive networks. So. Yeah, I don't think the typical Democrat even understands what's really going on. Well, of course, they're going to vote yes on Citizens United because we now know what they've been up to. Of course, the courts are going to vote for the right to take a bribe, which is what this is starting to look like. Yeah, we'll take a bribe. No, they're devastated. It's a feeling in the Democratic Party of complete devastation, of fear that our democracy is truly gone. More talking. That's what Democrats need to do. And Democrats, independents, Republicans, we need to start communicating. Reach across the aisle, start talking to Republicans, Democrats, etc. Because our democracy is being stolen out from under us. We're being gaslit, right? The church. It's not my church, it's not my government. It's not, the meetings aren't even taking place in the United States, right? Hopes and fears are coming out. In response to Melissa's questions, how are Democrats doing with this news? They're devastated. I think we genuinely believe in democracy. We believe in democracy, right? It's heartbreaking for us to watch something as hopeful as this democracy die so horribly. This horrible death of the American democracy. Clarification, and then I think this will be it. Once you see things, you can't unsee it. And that is the advice from Spirit for Democrats, Republicans, etc., going forward, is be able to put emotion aside and see things as they are and move forward with expert mastery, because logic is needed right now. We need cooler heads, the emperor. A church or religious body that meets overseas to discuss the fate of America. The hope and fear going forward. That the truth, sanitation, they want sanitation. Leaders in Democratic Party want sanitation coming up by August. Major event happening in August. Final outcome, what we can do is mastery. Mastery is how we save ourselves. Clear-headed, rational, stick to the facts, and mastery. Yes, the troll farms got shut down. They didn't have the money to pay the guys. They shut all of Prigozhin's stuff. He went to St. Petersburg based on what he told me, because he was appealing for them to take the hold off his visa. He doesn't want to stay in Belarus. He wants to take his family out of Russia. So, which tells me he's got some place that's willing to take him in. I don't know where, but somebody's willing to take him evidently, or he wouldn't have been telling me about his papers being messed up. Also, they were questioning him about his communications, but I don't think he's allowed to travel. So I don't think he's going to be able to leave. Maybe they'll shock me. Maybe we'll hear about him somewhere in Africa because he was given permission to leave. No, there's no way in hell we'd let him in Israel. I'm Israeli. There's no way in hell. If we did, we have extradition to the United States. We would probably extradite him. No, we would extradite him to The Hague. That's what Israel would do. All right, love and light to you all. Thank you, everyone, for your love and support of this wacky channel. If you have not become a member yet, please think about doing so. It really does help support our work here. Special shout out to the wonderful Debbie Brady. Thank you so much, Debbie, for creating our beautiful merch and being your wonderful, beautiful self. Thank you also to Joel Tilson and everybody else who helped today with moderation. If you want to get in for a reading with me, you can find out my information through Booksy. The information is below. If you need a 5-minute Wizio reading, I can usually get those back to you within a week. They're pre-taped. I think they run only $30, and it's an affordable option for people who have one question. Also, Debbie Brady wants you guys to know we do have a fan page. If you want to hang out with fans of the Oracle of Whimsy channel, Debbie would love to have you over. She has built a beautiful fan page for all of you. And do I have any other announcements, Debbie, you need me to make? Did I do everything you needed me to do? I'm very grateful to have someone helping. It's been difficult doing it all on my own. All right, love you all. I shall see you next time. Be well, everyone. If you are a member, I'll see you Saturday at 11 a.m. for our private readings, our private salon. Okay, take care, everyone. Be well.